Do you finish? That's today's discussion. Hi, it's MJ Callaway. I work with organizations to help them boost results and performance. I'm the author of the book Bounce Up, which you can see in the background. Do you finish? That is today's discussion. And the reason for the discussion is recently I had a conversation with one of my colleagues, and she talked about finishing. That was her word for this year, is finish. And I get it. And maybe you're like me and like my friend. We are idea generators. We create a lot of ideas. We get excited about it and we jump in and take action. However, sometimes we come up with another new idea and we jump into that and we never finish the other one. Or possibly you get stuck. You have the idea, but you want it to be perfect. So you get stuck in the start. You never really get started. Or you could possibly be someone who has had a lot of distractions. They started a project and they didn't finish because of all the distractions happening around them. Unfinished projects can happen because of any one of those reasons. Here's what I found has worked for me, and this is creating perimeters. And by creating a perimeter, it has helped to keep me on track and to finish, or at least to continue with the project. And here's an example. Back when I started writing, I was a very new writer. This is 20 some years ago. I needed to get my butt in the seat. And if you know any writers, there are some days where that is really hard to do. When I was starting out, my goal was to write a paragraph. It didn't matter what the paragraph was about. It was creating the routine. And I like to say routine over habit, but creating that routine of getting in the seat. So at first it was one paragraph. And I will tell you, some days I did more than one paragraph. My goal, though, was to do one. And then I bumped it up to 250 words. I started with a word count. 250 words. I could not leave the seat until I typed in 250 words. And then from there, it was 500 words. By the time I had gotten to 500 words, I had made it a routine. Every day, I automatically went to my desk and I sat in that chair and I wrote. And I have more than 2,000 articles that have been published in consumer magazines under my pen name. But the goal here is to create those perimeters. And I'll give you another example. I live in Pittsburgh, and right now we are in the middle of winter. And I'm not exactly sure why I live in Pittsburgh because I hate cold. Or let's take that word out of there. I really do not like cold. So I created a perimeter, and that was anytime the weather is 32 degrees and above, I would get out and walk. And one of the reasons I created this is because I've had some past health issues and my doctor recommends walking. And if you know my backstory, you know what those were. And if not, I'll be sharing some of that in future Bounce Up Fearless episodes. So anytime it's 32 and above, I need to get out there and walk. This takes the decision out of my hands, and that's what perimeters do. When you have a perimeter, it takes the decision out of your hand. You know, if I look at that weather app on my phone here, and I see it is 32 and above, I don't have any excuses. It's time to get out and walk. The same way with writing every day, staying in that seat until I wrote a paragraph or 250 words or 500. It was a perimeter, so I couldn't leave that seat until I did that. Perimeters take the decision out of our hands, and it helps us reach our goals. More importantly, it helps us create routines. What is a project or a task or a goal that you would like to hit, what would you like to finish? And what perimeter can you create around it? This is MJ Callaway signing out with this brief message here. Have a bounce up day.